I am genuinely delighted to be back in Ironton. I remember the warm and welcoming community who greeted me here the last time I was here. And now we have the added luxury of being in this gloriously beautiful room. So we'll say that it's all about us here together today. Through bushes and through briars, I lately made my way, all for to hear the small birds sing, and the lambs to skip and play. I overheard my own true love. His voice, it was so clear. Long time have I been waiting for the coming of my dear. Sometimes I am uneasy and troubled in my mind. Sometimes I think I'll go to my love and tell to him my mind. But if I should go to my love, he will say nay. If I show to him my boldness, he'll ne'er love me again. How glorious is the evening, how pleasant is the air. I would rather be in my true love's arms than any other where. I would rather be in my true love's arms than any other where. Shoe in the balaka, shoe the shoe the shoe the balaka, shoe the shoe in the balaka, shoe the shoe the shoe the balaka, shoe the shoe the balaka, shoe the shoe the shoe the balaka, shoe the balaka, togger togger hudo, hulla me hulla 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 me truda, hulla me hulla 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 me truda, hulla me hulla 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 me truda, hulla me cara gudumalan kudram, posse me posse 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 me gariba, posse me posse 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 me gariba, posse me posse 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 me gariba, posse me mani and dana high and run the feeding, shoe the bag, shoe the shoe the shoe the bag, shoe the shoe the bag, shoe the shoe the shoe the bag, shoe the shoe the bag, shoe the shoe the shoe the bag, shoe the bag, togger togger hudo. Everybody, shoe the bag, shoe the shoe the shoe the bag, shoe the bag, shoe the shoe the shoe the bag, shoe the bag, shoe the shoe the shoe the bag, shoe the bag, togger togger hudo. Thank you so very much. I started off with a beautiful old English folk song, and most of the folk songs over there are about love or about miserable love, because that's more interesting than happy love, I guess. And I followed it with a piece of Hebridean mouth music. And mouth music is quick rhythmic music that's sung to words, in this instance, in Scots Gaelic, which is one of the most beautifully lyrical languages in the world. So here's a quick translation. Get away with you, boys. Get away with you on down the road. I heard it from 3, I heard it from 4, that you should leave your childhood behind you. However, I will marry the brown-haired girl if she is telling the truth. That's it. It's kind of a meditation. All right, a song I learned from a Scottish friend of mine. He sent it to me via that ancient method of transmission. He faxed it to me. part of the folk tradition now. Used to be relevant, but now it is kind of ancient history. A beautiful song about a young woman named Peggy who is out strolling around in her hometown one day in her village, and she sees the soldiers out doing exercises in the town square. And in the style typical of this kind of song, by the end of verse 1, she's fallen madly in love with one of them, and by the second verse, she has offered to run away with him. And he replies by saying, "Oh, I couldn't take you with me into the field of battle. My life is so dangerous." And she says, "I'll be fine. I'm rich." And he says, "Okay." Some things never change, so. Excuse me, Peggy and the Soldier. Come all ye lads of high renown, let me tell of a fair young maiden, as she arose one summer's morn to watch the soldiers parading. They looked so bold and they marched so gay, their banners flying as the band did play. It caused lovely Peggy to smile and say, "I will go with my gallant soldier." She watched the soldiers to and fro as they were at their leisure. Then Peggy to herself did say, "At last I found my treasure. But oh, how cruel my parents can be, to banish my darling so far from me. I will leave them all and I'll go with thee, my brave undaunted soldier." "Oh, Peggy dear," the soldier said, "I pray don't act so unruly, for when I'm in some foreign land, believe me you'll rue it surely. What if in battle I should fall from the shot of an angry cannonball, and you so far from your daddy's hall? Are you wise with your gallant soldier? I have 50 guineas in safe store, likewise a heart that's bolder. I will give it all to the lad I adore, my brave undaunted soldier. So don't say no, but let me go. Together we'll face the fiercest foe, and pray kind Providence should know of Peggy and her gallant soldier. And when he saw she was so true, he could not stay hard-hearted. He said, "My darling, I'll marry you, and none but death shall part us. And when we're in some foreign land, I'll guard you, my darling, with my right hand, and pray that God a friend might stand to Peggy and her gallant soldier." I'm going to sing a great old American ballad that probably had its roots in England or Scotland. And I chose it particularly, not only is it's my favorite current ballad, my favorite current ancient ballad, but it takes place along the banks of the Ohio River. It's called "The Banks of the Ohio." I asked my love to take a walk, just to walk a little way. And as we walked along, we talked all about our wedding day, and only say that you'll be mine in no other's arms entwine, down beside where the waters flow, down by the banks of the Ohio. I held my knife close to her breast, as into my arms she pressed. She cried, "My boy, don't you murder me. I'm not prepared for eternity." I took her by the lily hand, led her down where the waters stand, and there I pushed her in to drown, and watched the water pull her down, and only say that you'll be mine in no other's arms entwine, down beside where the waters flow, down by the banks of the Ohio. I started home between 12 and 1, cried, "My God, what have I done? Killed the only woman I loved, because she would not be my bride." The very next day, about 4:30, sheriff came round to my door, said, "Young man, come with me and go down to the banks of the Ohio, and only say that you'll be mine in no other's arms entwine, down beside where the waters flow, down by the banks of the Ohio. I asked my love to take a walk, just to have some time to talk, down beside where the waters flow, down by the banks of the Ohio. Oh, it's of a sea captain who sailed the salt sea, and the moon it shone gentle and clear. Oh, I'll die, this captain did cry, if I can't have that maid who walks on the shore, if I can't have that maid on the shore. So the sailors, they got them a very long boat, and off to the shore they did steer. Oh, saying, ma'am, if you please, will you enter on board to view a fine cargo of costly ware, to view a fine cargo of ware. And when they arove alongside of the ship, the captain he spat out his chew, oh, saying, first you will lie in my arms all this night, and then I'll give you to my jolly young crew, oh, then I'll give you to my crew. Oh, thank you, this young girl, she cried. It's just what I've been waiting for. Oh, for I've grown so weary of my maidenhead, as I walked all alone on my rocky old shore, as I walked all alone on the shore. And she sat herself down in the stern of the ship, and the moon it shone gentle and clear. Oh, she sang so sweet and so neat and complete. She sang sailors and captain right fast asleep. She sang sailors and captain asleep. And she's robbed them of silver, she's robbed them of gold, she's plundered their costly fine ware. Oh, the captain's broadsword she's used for an oar, and she's paddled right back to her rocky old shore, and she's paddled right back to the shore. Oh, were my men drunk, or were my men mad, or were they sunk deep in despair? Oh, they've led her away with her beauty so gay. How the sailors all wish that sweet maid was there, how the sailors all wish she was there. Oh, ye men, they weren't drunk, and ye men, they weren't mad, or neither sunk deep in despair. Oh, I've deluded your crew, and likewise yourself too, captain. Now I'm a maid on my rocky old shore, I'm a maiden once more on the shore. I think I'd call that a happy ending, wouldn't you? All right, we have a beautiful piano over here, and Carson and the congregation have been kind enough to permit me to use it. So it's like driving a Ferrari, so I'm just gonna venture down the steps and we'll do a song down there. This song was written by a friend of mine from Wales. His name is Hugh Williams, and I met him years and years ago when I was singing with an Irish band and he was with a Welsh band, and we were performing together in southern Missouri at Silver Dollar City, that mecca for Welshmen. And we were sitting around one evening playing, picking and singing, and Hugh played this song for us that he'd written. And I said, if you allow me to record this song, I'll give you anything you want. He said, that's good enough for me, but a wonderful man, and he writes beautiful music. Hugh, H-U-W Williams. One of my favorites that I recorded many years ago, it's called Rosemary's Sister. And sister of our fate, do you count the tragedies we see? And brother of confusion and sister of debate, do you remember the sister of Rosemary? The doodle bugs were flying and the blitz was at its height. Rosemary lay sleeping swept up the street and started all again. When tyranny is biting, you do your best to try and stifle all your heartache till it's safe again to cry. And when the darkness disappears and the light comes shining through, we'll gather up and start our fall anew. And we fly high, our dreams are all in vain. One moment we are singing, and the next we cry in pain. But high above the heavens, in a host of angels' wings, Rosemary's sister will be dancing. There's a teacher in the classroom, there's a mother in the hall. The children sit and wait for the bell for home. And Rosemary is waiting, she has a child now of her own, and she's waiting to collect and take her home. And sometimes in the firelight, in the silence where she sits, her mind goes back to Bethnal Street, the darkness and the blitz. And she hears if there's another one, then the end will be complete. Well, I wonder what they'd say in Bethnal Street. And we fly high, our dreams are all in vain. One moment we are singing, and the next we cry in pain. But high above the heavens, in a host of angels' wings, Rosemary's sister will be dancing. Rosemary's sister will be dancing. I'm going to start this next song with a little bit of a old-time song that was the first song that my dad ever taught me. He and his whole side of the family and I are originally from Arkansas, northeast Arkansas, cotton country. And then I'll go into a song that was written by a good friend of mine named Bill Staines called Where Shall I Go? And it has a chorus if you'd like to sing along, which I bet you would. Wouldn't you? No. Here we go. Oh, it's beefsteak when I'm hungry, whiskey when I'm dry, greenbacks when I'm hard up, and heaven when I die. Jack of diamonds, I know you of old. You have robbed my poor pockets of silver and gold. Oh, I once was a cowboy, and I used to run wild and rodeoed and wrangled and rambled in style. But I'm too old for horses, too old for the show, and I'm too young for heaven. Now where shall I go? Where shall I go? Where shall I go? I'm too young for heaven. Now where shall I go? Oh, I once had a true love. I made her my wife, and I swear I loved her near most of my life. But the cold of the winter and the wind laid her low, and she's gone on before me. Now where shall I go? Where shall I go? Where shall I go? She is gone on before me. Now where shall I go? Oh, I never was a drunkard, but this I will say, the taste of the whiskey gets better each day. The bartender scowled, you are drinking too slow, and we close in 10 minutes. Now where shall I go? Where shall I go? Where shall I go? We close in 10 minutes. Now where shall I go? Now it's out in the evening with the stars burning bright. Nothing but memories to share with the night. Oh, I once was a cowboy, and I used to run wild on a rodeo and wrangled and rambled in style. But I'm too old for horses, too old for the show, and I'm too young for heaven. Now where shall I go? Where shall I go? Where shall I go? I'm too young for heaven. Now where shall I go? Where shall I go? Where shall I go? I'm too young for heaven. Now where shall I go? Thank you. Excuse me, I was struck by the COVID gods a few weeks ago, and still in quick recovery. But Carson alluded to my other life. Everybody needs at least two, I think, just in case one doesn't work out. But I started in the early 1990s, about the time I put out my first record, cooking on cattle drives in northwest Wyoming, and I got bitten by the bug, and I didn't look back. And in the winters, I work in Yellowstone National Park, and I'm out there singing and cooking at a backcountry winter camp, a yurt camp. And I just got back from there last week, so it's delightful to be here in this lovely, cozy room. But this is a song that I wrote called I Am Going to the West, and it's about my deep love for landscapes and mountains and just the wide vistas that you all have here, your beautiful bluffs, and the mounds that are so close, these sacred spaces. So it's about my love for the West. I adapted the lyrics in the first verse and chorus from an older song, and then I decided it wasn't sad enough, and so I wrote some more verses in a new tune. It's called I'm Going to the West. Turn that up just a little. In this fair land I'll stay no more. Here labor is in vain. I'll seek the mountains far away and leave the fertile plain, where waves of grass in oceans roll into infinity. I stand ready by the shore to cross the inland sea. I am going to the west. You say you will not go with me. You turn your eyes away. You say you will not follow me. No matter what I say, I am going to the west. I am going to the west. I will journey to the place that was shaped by heaven's hand, and I will build for me a bower where angels' footprints mark the land, where castle rocks in towers high kneel to valleys wild and green. All my thoughts are turned to you, my waking hope, my sleeping dream. I am going to the west. You say you will not go with me. You turn your eyes away. You say you will not follow me, no matter what I say. I am going to the west. I am going to the west. And when sun gives way to moon and silver starlight fills the sky, in the arms of these last hills is where I'm bound to lie. Wind my blanket, earth my bed, my canopy a tree. Willows by the river's edge will whisper me to sleep. I am going to the west. You say you will not go with me. You turn your eyes away. You say you will not follow me, no matter what I say. I am going to the west. 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 Thank you. So I'm going to sing one more song, and then I believe we'll have a little intermission. There was this king sitting in his garden all alone, when his brother in his ear poured a little bit of henbane. He stole his brother's crown and his money and his widow, but the dead king got up and found his son and said, "Hey, listen, kiddo, I've been killed, and it's your duty to take revenge on Claudius. Kill him quick and clean and tell the nation what a fraud he is." The kid says, "Right, I'll do it, but I'll have to play it crafty so that no one will suspect me. I'll get on that I'm a dafty." So with all except Horatio, and he counts him as a friend, Hamlet, that's the kid, he kids on, he's round the bend. But not being ready for obligatory slaughter, he tries to make the new king think that he's gone off his rocker. Gets a rise atop Polonius, treats poor Ophelia vile, tells Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Denmark's a bleeding jail, and a troupe of traveling actors in line 784 arrive to do a special one-night gig in Elsinore. Hamlet, Hamlet, acting balmy. Hamlet, Hamlet loves his mommy. Hamlet, Hamlet hesitating, wonders if the ghost's a cheat, and that is why he's waiting. So Hamlet writes a scene for the players to enact, so Horatio and he can watch to see if Claudius cracks. Well, the play is called The Mousetrap, not the one that's running now, and sure enough, the king walks out before the play is through. So Hamlet's got the proof that Claudius gave his dad the dose, the only problem being now that Claudius knows he knows. So while Hamlet tells his mummy her new husband's not a fit one, Uncle Claude puts out a contract with the English king as hitman. Then Hamlet kills Polonius and the corpus on flagrant delicti was the king's excuse to send him for an English hempen necktie with Rosencrantz and Guildenstern to make quite sure he got there. But Hamlet jumped the boat and put the finger straight on that pair. When Laertes heard his dad had been stabbed through an arras, he came running back to Elsinore, toot sweet. Hot foot from Paris, and Ophelia with her dad killed by the man she was to marry. After saying it with flowers, she committed harry-carry. Then Laertes lost his place and was demanding retribution, and the king says, keep your head and I'll provide you a solution. So he arranged a sword fight for the interested parties, with the blunted sword for Hamlet and a sharp sword for Laertes. And to make double sure the old belt and suspenders line, he dipped a poisoned sword dipped in a poisoned cup of wine. Well, Hamlet got the sword, but Laertes went and muffed it, 'cause he got stabbed himself and he confessed before he snuffed it. Then Hamlet's mummy drank the wine, and as her face turned blue, Hamlet said, I believe the king's a baddie through and through. Incestuous, murderous, damned Dane, he said to be precise, and made up for hesitating once by killing Claudius twice. He stabbed him with the knife and forced the wine between his lips. He said the rest is silence, and then Hamlet cashed in his chips. They fired a volley over him that hit the topmost rafter. Then Fortin Bras, knee-deep in Danes, lived happy ever after. Hamlet, Hamlet, oh that gory Hamlet, Hamlet, end of story. Hamlet, Hamlet, I'm on my way. If you thought that was boring, you should read the bloody play. Thank you very much. I dedicate that to humanities majors everywhere. It was written by a Scotsman named Adam McNaughton, a brilliant man who keeps a bookshop in Glasgow and is said to be very curmudgeonly, but he must have a soft streak because he wrote that. So we'll have a lovely intermission, and we'll see you in a little while. Thanks. I could not ask for a warmer welcome. Thank you, Carson. All right, let's see. Where did we leave off? Hamlet. Okay. Well, I think now it's time to take a little trip to the old cattle trails. There was a number of them going out west. I'm sure you've heard of them. Not only the immigrant trails going from this part of the world out west, but cowboys and entrepreneurs running herds of cattle up from Mexico through Texas, and in this case into Colorado. It's just one of my favorite old songs. I sing it a lot at campfires, mostly because it's short. You lose people quickly when they've been horseback all day. Excuse me. So, the Colorado Trail. Eyes like the morning star, cheeks like a rose. Laura was a pretty girl, God Almighty knows. Weep on ye falling rain, wail winds wail, all along, along, along the Colorado Trail. Stars fading up above, lark starts to sing. Sky is rosy in the east, what will this day bring? Weep on ye falling rain, wail winds wail, all along, along, along the Colorado Trail. Face like a prairie flower, laughing all the day. Laura was a pretty girl, now she's gone away. Weep on ye falling rain, wail winds wail, the Colorado Trail. Weep on, you falling rain, wail, winds, wail, all along, along, along the Colorado Trail. So a friend of mine and I were doing a little research about Ironton. I was just trying to refresh my memory a little, and Barb, who's also my webmaster person, my tech person, because Lord knows I need one, said, you know, Ironton was a pretty wild place back in its day. I mean, it was full of colorful characters who had, let's just say, colorful misadventures. And so she said, I think you ought to do this song because it's about someone having a colorful misadventure. And it's an Irish song, so I said, here we go. This is called The Devil and the Farmer's Wife. So, right, there we go. I once knew a family living near hell. Die, they've not gone away. They're living there still with me, whack, fall lickety, fall lolly. The devil, he came to the man at the plough. Die, save one of your family. I must take now with me, whack, fall lickety, fall lolly. Oh no, says the farmer, I am undone. Die, for you've surely come for my eldest son with me, whack, fall lickety, fall lolly. Oh no, says the devil, I've come for your wife. Die, for I hear she's a plague and tormenting your life with me, whack, fall lickety, fall lolly. So the devil, he's hoisted her up on his hump. Die, and down to hell with her he did jump. With me whack, fall lickety, fall lolly. He carried her on till they came to hell's wall. Die, and there she did stutter and stammer and bawl. With me whack, fall lickety, fall lolly. He carried her on till they came to Hell's Hill. Die, and she cried as much tears as would turn a mill. With me whack, fall lickety, fall lolly. There were two little devils a-playing with chains. Die, she off with her shoe and she knocked out their brains. With me whack, fall lickety, fall lolly. There were two other devils a-playing handball. Die, and say, take her away, Daddy, she'll murder us all. With me whack, fall lickety, fall lolly. So the devil, he's hoisted her up on his hump. Die, and back to earth with her he did jump. With me whack, fall lickety, fall lolly. They were 9 days going and one coming back. Die, his head it did ache and his spine it did crack. With me whack, fall lickety, fall lolly. Good sir, says the devil, here's your wife safe and well. Die, for she wouldn't be kept, not even in hell. With me whack, fall lickety, fall lolly. Now I've been the devil near most of my life. Die, but I ne'er was in hell till I met with your wife. With me whack, fall lickety, fall lolly. Some say that women are stronger than men. Die, for they went down to hell and they came out again. With me whack, fall lickety, fall lolly. With me whack, fall lickety, fall lolly. Thank you. This is one of my favorite traditional tunes. It started out life as a ballad in Scotland, probably in the 1700s, and it was called The Douglas Tragedy. It was about the really sad romantic misfortune of Lady Douglas, whose husband had determined that she was committing infidelities and sent her away from him and her children for the rest of her life. And they made a ballad about it at the time, because that's what you do when there's a newsworthy event. And this is a piece from that ballad, and it's called "The Water is Wide." The water is wide, I cannot cross o'er, and neither have I wings to fly. Give me a boat that will carry two, and both shall row, my love and I leaned my back against an oak, thinking it was a mighty tree, but first it bent, and then it broke, just as my love proved false to me. There is a ship that sails the sea, it's loaded deep, as deep can be, but not as deep as the love I'm in. I know not if I sink or swim. Oh, love is handsome, love is kind, love is a jewel while it is new, but when it's old, it grows so cold and fades away like morning dew. The water is wide, I cannot cross o'er, and neither have I wings to fly. Give me a boat that will carry two, and both shall row, my love and both shall row, my love and Oh, the first time that I met my love, it was at the ball. I looked at her, I gazed at her, far above them all. And she looked on me with scorn and disdain. And the bonny wee lass's answer was to no come again, was to no come again. And the bonny wee lass's answer was to no come again. Oh, the next time that I met my love, it was at the wake. I looked at her, I gazed at her, I thought my heart would break. But she looked on me with scorn and disdain. And the bonny wee lass's answer was to no come again, was to no come again. And the bonny wee lass's answer was to no come again. Oh, it being 6 months after, a little or above, oh, cute Cupid shot his arrow, and he wounded my true love. He wounded her so dearly, which caused her to complain, and she wrote to me a letter saying, you might come again, oh, you might come again. And she wrote to me a letter saying, you might come again. Oh, well, I wrote her back an answer for to let her know while life is in my body, it's there I would not go. While life is in my body, it's here I will remain. For I mind the girl who says no, come again, who says no, come again. For I mind the girl who says no, come again. So come, all ye pretty fair maids, a warning take from me. Oh, never slight your young man, whoever he may be. For if ye do, you're sure to rue and cause ye to complain. And you rue the day you said no, come again. You said no, come again. And you rue the day you said no, come again. Diddle, diddle, deedle, deedle, dop, beaten, deedle, deedle, biddly, diddle, deedle, dop, bite, diddle, die, diddle, deedle, diddly, diddle, beaten, deedle, biddly, diddle, deedle, deedle, dop, by, diddle, deedle, beaten, diddly, diddle, deedle, da dum, diddle, deedle, diddle, deedle, deedle, biddly, diddle, deedle, dop, bite, diddle, die, diddle, deedle, diddly, diddle, beaten, deedle, bite, diddle, deedle, deedle, beaten, die, diddle, deedle, bite, die, dee-dum, dee-dum, da. There come again. I guess he told her. I learned that from my good friend Cahill McConnell. Cahill has been for decades in a seminal Celtic folk group called Boys of the Loch, and he's also been very generous in sharing his songs with me. And that last little bit that you heard is a singing style that he taught me called lilting, which is basically lilting or making a band with your mouth when you don't have a band and you want to dance. It's just deedle-deedle-deedle-deedle-deedle-dee. It's really as simple as that. But it's just kind of a fun and festive way to, if you need to dance, somebody can lilt and you can do it. All right. You all look beautiful, bathed in golden light, by the way. It's quite gorgeous in here. A little feedback. This is a song I wrote about the angels in my life, seen and unseen. It's called The Language of Flowers. You speak the language of flowers. You hear them wake in the soft morning hours. With you they dare their secrets to share. You speak the language of flowers. You bring the song of the wind, crying from heaven for you, my friend. Through stormy skies, in your arms it flies. You bring the song of the wind. You find the sparrow that falls when boughs break to you, she calls with broken wings, still she sings. You find the sparrow that falls. You feel the beat of my heart, though we are ages and lifetimes apart. When oceans are wide and nations divide, You feel the beat of my heart. I see your face in the stars. You walk in moonlight, you drift on clouds. Vision unseen, you float through my dreams. I see your face in the stars. You speak the language of flowers. So I'm going to do a couple of more songs for you, and then we will conclude this part of the afternoon and proceed to the festivities downstairs, where I am told Mary Rose has untold culinary delights awaiting us. So as I mentioned, my family comes from northeast Arkansas, cotton country, and my dad was the oldest of 10 children, and he quit school in the 8th grade to pick cotton for a living, as did his 9 younger brothers and sisters and my grandmother. But they had kind of a history of singing, and maybe that's where I got some of this, I'll call it a calling, because Grandma Dover, her name was Lillian Williams Dover, but her nickname was Pete. Figure that out. Sang snippets of ballads, and I learned some bits from her, and then my father taught some to me. And this is one of my favorites. It's a classic, and it just seems to fit in this room and in this part of the world and among these people. So I'll sing it for you now. It only has 380 verses, so we should be out of here by dark if I'm careful. Don't repeat anything. So, but one of my favorites for sure. In Scarlet Town, where I was born, there lived a fair maid dwelling, made every youth cry well a day. Her name was Barbara Allen. All in the merry month of May, when green buds all were swelling, sweet William on his deathbed lay, for love of Barbara Allen. He sent his servant to the town, the place where she did dwell in, saying, Master dear has sent me here, if your name be Barbara Allen. So slowly, slowly she got up, and slowly she drew nigh him, and all she said when there she came was, young man, I think you're dying. Oh, I am sick, so very sick. With love my head is aching. One kiss from you would cure me well. You'll keep my heart from breaking. Do you remember that night, she said, when we were in the tavern? You drank a toast to the ladies there, and slighted Barbara Allen. He turned his face unto the wall. He turned his back upon her. Adieu, adieu to my friends all. Be kind to Barbara Allen. As she was wandering o'er the fields, she heard the death bell knelling, and every note it seemed to say, hard-hearted Barbara Allen. The more it told, the more she grieved. She bursted out a-crying, oh, pick me up and carry me home. I fear that I am dying. Oh, mother, go make my bed. Make it both long and narrow. Sweet William died of love for me, and I shall die of sorrow. Oh, Father, go dig my grave. Make it both long and narrow. Sweet William died of love today, and I will die tomorrow. They buried William in the old churchyard, and Barbara in the new one. From William's heart there grew a rose, from Barbara's a green briar. They grew and grew in the old churchyard, till they could grow no higher, and there they tied in a true lover's knot, and the rose grew round the briar. Thank you for permitting me to share that with you. My dad used to sing to me when I was little, oh, Connie, go make your bed. So, there's a use for every kind of song. So I'm going to sing one more song for you. It has a chorus, and I know that you'll be very excited to sing along. Will you not? Paul? I'm going to take that as a yes. I want to thank Dr. Pat McCoy and his lovely bride Dana, who came to pick me up yesterday in Columbus and brought me back and eventually handed me off to our treasured Pastor Carson Hunt and his wife Chris. And I also would like to thank very much the Ironton Arts Council, who I was hard to reach. I was in Yellowstone and some other places, but they persevered knowing that I was out there somewhere and worked very hard to bring me all to you. And without their care and diligence, that wouldn't happen. So every time they tell you there's a musical event or any other kind of event, blindly obey them and go to it. Don't say who's playing, just come, and if it's at this beautiful church, then so much the better. But thank you. It's wonderful to have this beautiful and vital arts council in your community. I wish more places I performed have what you have here. Thank you also, Randy Franz, for helping mastermind all the audio. So my thanks to all of you for being here, especially out on St. Patrick's Day. You could be drinking green beer and hanging off of a float, but no, you're at a Presbyterian church listening to improving music. So this is a song by Stephen Foster. It's called Hard Times Come Again No More, and the chorus goes like this. This is a song that continues to be timely. So the chorus is like this. 'Tis the song, the sigh of the weary. Hard times, come again no more. Many days you have lingered around my cabin door. Oh, hard times, come again no more. okay? All right, 10-4. Right, here we go. Let us pause in life's pleasures and count its many tears while we all sup sorrow with the poor. There's a song that will linger forever in our ears. Oh, hard times come again no more. 'Tis the song, the sigh of the weary. Hard times come again no more. Many days you have lingered around my cabin door. Oh, hard times come again no more. While we seek mirth and beauty and music light and gay, there are frail forms fainting at the door. Though their voices are silent, their pleading looks will say, oh, hard times come again no more. 'Tis the song, the sigh of the weary. Hard times come again no more. Many days you have lingered around my cabin door. Oh, hard times come again no more. There's a pale, drooping maiden who toils her life away. With the worn heart his better days are o'er. Though her voice would be merry, 'tis sighing all the day. Oh, hard times come again no more. 'Tis the song, the sigh of the weary. Hard times come again no more. Many days you have lingered around my cabin door. Oh, hard times come again no more. 'Tis a sigh that is wafted across the troubled wave. 'Tis a wail that is heard upon the shore. 'Tis a hymn that is murmured around the hopeful grave. Oh, hard times come again no more. 'Tis the song, the sigh of the weary. Hard times come again no more. Many days you have lingered around my cabin door. Oh, hard times come again no more. One more time. 'Tis the song, the sigh of the weary. Hard times come again no more. Many days you have lingered around my cabin door. Oh, hard times come again no more. Oh, hard times come again no more. Amen to that. Thank you so much. Thank you, Carson Hunt, for bringing it all together, and Pat McCoy. Thank you. See you downstairs.